viewers. Ugo Lawrence is my name. I am Senior Consultant, Zalos Group International, a Nigeria-based real estate company with global branches. Today I am bringing you real estate, how a non-resident, non-EU, non-EEA citizen can buy property in Denmark, and also real estate intel in Denmark. But before I go into it, please click like and subscribe. Thank you. Real estate in Denmark is handled primarily by three bodies. The cadastral. The cadastral is a central point in land administration in Denmark. The cadastral records the cadastral map, the land, they record the land's property and what is inside it, as well as the measuring sheets. The cadastral also is the main central body that is organizing land transfers, land business, land recording in Denmark, and also they ensure that the proper land taxes are paid. The next body, and this cadastral is managed by Danish Geodata Agency. The next body, which is also very important, is the land register or land book. This land register records ownership of land and rights on that land, including encumbrances, and it is managed by the Danish Denmark Ministry of Justice. This Denmark Ministry of Justice provide information about legals, about any property in Denmark, and they work hand in hand with the cadastral. The next body, that is the building and dwelling register. This building and dwelling register is managed by the Denmark's Business and Economy Department. What it records is the building itself, and also records its dwelling as well as location, and in particular the physical characteristics of that building. They also work hand in hand with the cadastral. These three bodies are the ones that ensure that land transactions in Denmark is as transparent as it should be and without any confusion. There are types of land ownership in Denmark. One of them, and the star among them, is fee simple, which is what we call that's a freehold. This fee simple is the highest form of land ownership in Denmark, where the owner exercises the right over the land to use, to enjoy the benefit, to transfer, to also bequeath as an inheritance in bequeath. So that's the highest form of land operation, land title in Denmark. The next one is called strata. Strata is arises as in a units of buildings. Let's say in a particular location there are several units of buildings in that location, and these units of building own their rights to their respective units, but also hold common rights on things in that location, as things like swimming pool, amusement park, school, supermarkets, gardens. That is strata. The next type of land ownership is crown land. Crown land is lands owned by the Danish government. Don't hope to go and buy a crown land if somebody's selling. You have to do your property search well and make sure it's not government land, just like in any other country. If you buy government land, you're your own. The next type of land is the community land. Community land are lands owned by the communities and by the community, and individual members of that community enjoy the proceeds from that land or make use of it. The next type of land is cooperative land, also called Anders Boliga, as they call it in Denmark. This kind of property owned by the cooperative. The cooperative is a legal entity, and the members of the cooperative enjoy the benefits from that land or make use of it according to perhaps the share they have in that cooperative. The final one is owner occupier. Owner occupier is a kind of it's not like how it sounds in Nigeria, but it's like a block of flats or duplexes where several people own their individual right, but the common things in that property, like swimming pool, gardens, amusement park, internet facilities, or are jointly owned by the members of that in that block. It's different from the other one where it is units in a particular location where they're separate. But this one is in one block. So these are the types of land ownership in Denmark. Now, if you are planning to buy land in Denmark, it is relatively easier for EEA citizens to buy land, other residence, primary residence land, or for building, for business. But if you are not a member, to a citizen of EU or EEA countries, in that case, you may have to, in fact, you require a permit in order for you to buy land, any type of land whatsoever in Denmark. You need a permission. So, and that permission is strictly issued by the Denmark Ministry of Justice. So take note of that. Let nobody tell you that I bought land for you in Denmark without showing you the permit which granted you, or say I'll buy land for you in Denmark without that permit. It must be given. And if you apply for the permit and it is not given, you can't buy. Any land you buy is illegal. It is invalid. It cannot be. You just wasted your money. Now, this permit, there are lands also. Lands are dealt with by type and location in Denmark. If it is vacation land, it is even more. The restriction is far more strict for non-EU or EEA citizen. Far more strict. In fact, at certain point, you may have to even face something that look like discrimination because or extra stringent measure, which you may think, how come somebody else is able to buy and you are not buying? They just don't. Maybe it's vacation property. It's a far more, it's exclusive people that go there, so you may not be able to easily buy except to comply with the restrictions that's available, that they have put in place. These are the things you have to note if you are planning to buy property in Denmark. Now, there are websites, big websites in Denmark, where you can access. The real estate agent is a vital body, as well as lawyers, are vital notaries, are vital professionals that you need to buy real estate in Denmark. The real estate is far more vital in the sense that the one that will find the land, that the one that will negotiate, and that the one that will pass message to get a lawyer for you, as well as pass message to the lawyer to go and get permission for you if you want to buy land. So they are very vital. And to get them in Denmark, I do search on sites like Boligsten.dk or boliga.dk or nybolig.dk, dan delic, bolig .dk, then home.dk, edc.dk. These are heavy websites where you can find real estate agents, lawyer, notaries, as well as Ministry of Justice for when you require permission, because it is there that they are. So it is in that place that you find them. For non-EU stroke EEA citizens. For EU stroke EEA citizens, that's also where I find the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that will be able to give information on regulations. Okay, so take note of these sites. The question now is that does Zalos Group International have office in Denmark? At the moment, the answer is no. But if you need an agent in Denmark, or you don't have the stamina to start searching their big websites, or you need a notary, I can recommend a competent one for you, and you have to indicate so by say at the comment section. Just put sparse detail like email address and all that, then I'll get back to you. Now, if you are buying land proper, the process is your estate agent finds the land, then negotiate, then you get permit, and then move ahead. Now, the financials, how do you get financials? The Denmark mortgage bank can give as much as 80% of the provide 80% of cost of the building for you. That is for EU and EEA citizens. They can also provide for you, but with stricter, of course, that's what they call the 5% down payment. If they collect 5% down payment from Danish citizens, Denmark citizens, and the EU and EEA citizens, they may collect as much as 10% down payment from you. To assess their mortgage. That's if you need. If you don't need their mortgage, of course you pay the 10%, and then later you pay the remaining balance, and then the estate agents, after getting permission, will get the property bought, and then of course registered and updated at the cadastral and all other ministries, including the land register and the other places. And once that transaction is done, you have purchased your land. I would say congratulations in advance. Now the question is that can a non-EU, can purchase of land in Denmark guarantee you citizenship in Denmark? The answer is no. You have to apply for their visa. I hope all this information will be very vital for you in your decision to decide whether you wish to buy land in Denmark.